Here now is Republican Congressman Mike Turner from Ohio. He is a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I just want to go to something that we heard Senator Lindsey Graham say a short time ago, and it's in that conclusion that they didn't think that any amount of political bias influenced the decision whether or not to charge Hillary Clinton. And he said, if you sent a text where you agreed with someone else, we will not allow Trump to become president. By definition, that would mean that they can't charge Hillary Clinton with anything, or else they would be allowing President Trump, he was already the nominee, they would be allowing him to become president. So didn't it for sure impact how they conducted their investigation?
Well, I think what this clearly shows, and thank goodness for the IG's report, that we have now this ability to have a public discussion about the Comey culture of the FBI and what FBI Director Wray has to do. I mean, you're absolutely right. You can't have a culture where someone in the FBI says, we, including the FBI agent, won't let that happen, and have the tools of the FBI and the Department of Justice at hand. I mean, these are very dangerous words, and certainly I think FBI Director Wray needs to understand this is not just an issue of training. This is an issue of intent. And I think that's what troubles the American people. That's what troubles all of us when you look at the Comey culture of unilateralism, of leaks, of changing even standards as they deliberated. But knowing that there was this political overtone, I think really is troubling.
I mean, it was also one of the other texts, from even a different agent where they said that, Trump voters were low to middle class. I mean, they talked about their mental capacity and just really degrading terms about a huge swath of America, people who voted for President Trump. I mean, can you imagine if, for example, there were texts between, NYPD officers or any police law enforcement where they talked about a group of human beings in such derogatory terms like that? How could you trust them to enforce the safety and law around this group of people that they clearly totally disrespect? I don't know that the American people feel like Director Wray is taking seriously enough how concerning all this is.
Right. When you look at the text themselves, I mean, people have gotten to the point where they're putting in writing what their thoughts are and what they're conversing, what they're openly sharing among each other. And that goes well beyond an issue of training. It goes to who they are, what their motivations are, and what the expectation is of what they're going to be using, which is the power that's entrusted to them.
Right.
I hope that the Director Wray understands this, that this is an issue of not just the credibility of the organization, but that this inherently is a threat to democracy. It's a threat to the FBI. It's certainly a threat to the trust that we put into them. And it needs more of an attention from the FBI director than merely an issue of training. I think Comey did unbelievable damage to the FBI, and we're seeing it now in the IG's report. We felt it as he was undertaking the investigation of the Clinton emails, and also then when it came to light that he had both presidential campaigns under FBI investigation. But now we're actually seeing that as applied to these individuals, there's very troubling words that were being used.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just the two of them. There were many other people that were texting very similar things we've seen through this investigation. And obviously, they felt like they were working in a culture where this was okay and was accepted by their boss because they were willing. They all felt it and said it to each other and were willing to text it to each other. What's the remedy for that? Because you said it's not training, and that's true. What is the remedy?
Right. Well, I think Director Wray has to understand that he has to change the culture, because if you couple that with what the IG's report says about leaks, I mean, in addition to having their own personal agendas as opposed to looking at applying the law and upholding the law, they also felt that they needed to, leak information out into the media to try to change the public discourse and not just sit at their desks and do their jobs with respect to applying the law in very important ways. The fact that they both had these motivations, were using the tools of the FBI, and then were actively leaking information to the press shows that this is unprofessional conduct. This is very troubling. This needs to rise to the level of Director Wray understanding. He needs to overhaul the agency. And it really is just the top.
Maybe do a cleansing of a lot of employees in order to send the message that this isn't okay, because the message was sent before that it was okay.
Well, that's exactly it, because there are certainly some great people at the FBI and the Department of Justice.
Sure.
A clear understanding and direction.
But there are more bad apples than just those two, we've come to learn. Congressman Turner, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.